What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Friends of Mortgage Heroes. I'm Brian.
I'm Will.
And today we are joined by a true community leader, a real estate expert, a travel addict, a newlywed, and a baseball lover. Please give a warm welcome to Tania Marks, top escrow rep and real estate resource from New Venture Escrow.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, you guys. I'm super excited to be here today.
What's up, T? How you doing?
What's going on? I'm good. I'm super stoked that you guys picked me.
Of course.
To be on your show.
Of course. You know, the reason for that is we always see how you're a hustler. You're a part of the community. Not only do you perform your duties like at work the way you do, but I mean, like, girl, you're always all over the place.
You have to be in this business. You have to be. It's all about who you know, what you know. Like, I do pride myself in being a resource for my clients, my agents. So if I'm not everywhere, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
no, you don't have to apologize. And that's why we're like, dude, if we can get anybody that's going to bring excitement, that's going to really tell us how it is going to be T.
Oh,
I know she's going to come in here and, just share all her knowledge and, how you got into the industry,
100%.
what's making you what's making you so successful the way you are, because you're a badass.
Thank you. Oh,
thank you. So as we begin, I think it's important for our audience, not to just connect with you professionally, but also on a personal level.
Definitely.
So share a little bit of insights, on the background of, what motivated you and what drives you to go into, doing what you do.
Well, I got into escrow by complete accident, honestly. Like, because I don't know about anyone. I don't think anyone in my office woke up one day and was like, I want to be an escrow officer, or I want to be an escrow rep when I grow up. So it was completely just by accident. But I moved out to San Diego. I'm originally from the Imperial Valley, and I moved out to San Diego when I was 18 to go to SDSU.
Valley girl to city girl.
Valley girl, yeah. I'm not a small town girl. So once I came to San Diego, I realized I'm never going back. There's no way. It's a small town. It's just not for me. Went to San Diego State. I bartended and served for a while, and then started working with an attorney with foreclosures. So that's how kind of I got into the real estate world a little bit. But we worked more for with East Coast people, and it wasn't anything with real estate agents locally.
Gotcha.
Wow.
A friend of mine that I met through bartending, her and I would get together once a month to catch up and have some wine. We were like a bottle of wine deep. She's like, you hate where you're at right now. What are you doing? Like, why don't you come work with me? I'm like, I don't even know what you do. Like, I have no idea what you do. I just know you drive a nice car. You have a flexible schedule. Like, what do you do? She's like, I sell escrow. What the heck is escrow? I've never even heard of that. Yeah, who is that?
What company is that?
Yeah, she's like, you know what? You're personable. You speak Spanish. Like, you can learn escrow.
Yeah.
But, like, the skills you already have are just something you can't really teach. So I'm like, no, screw it. I'll try it. And I thought, because I got my master's in healthcare administration, something completely different, you guys. Something that's not even related to escrow or real estate.
Yeah.
But I had realized that if I was to use my master's degree, I would have to go and start from scratch at a hospital and like start at the front desk.
Dang, we didn't just go bachelor's, master's. Look at you. You see, that's why you're here.
I am a little bit of an overachiever. I was bored at my job, so I said, you know what, I'm just going to go back to school. So I did. But then to realize that the way the education system, I can go through a whole rep.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other story, right? Just because you have another degree doesn't make you make more money.
Yeah.
And I realized that quick. And luckily I didn't take that, that route and go into something that I probably would have hated.
Yeah.
Because then I found out that I loved being out and about. I love the sales side of something that I actually thought I was going to be super scared to do. Like, what are you telling me? I have to be commission-based?
Yeah.
Like, not know what I'm going to make every month? That's scary.
That is scary.
So jumping into it, I'm like, well, I don't know. It's kind of scary. I like the security of a paycheck, but then once you start getting into it, and I'm someone who I'm in competition with myself.
Wow.
So I'm a self-motivator. So as I got into it, I love that I can learn a lot, and I'm 10 and a half years into this, and I'm still always learning. There's always something new, and I kind of loved it, and the fact that I can continue to grow throughout it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'm always going through additional education.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that, I was able to just continue to be in competition with myself what I did last month, what I did last year, and I want to beat my numbers every time. So that's kind of what short answer.
No, that's great.
That's kind of how.
And that's pretty cool. Always with a friend, right?
Yeah.
Always with a friend. Hey, they're driving that car, the curiosity, right?
Yes.
Well, how did you do that? It's funny. There's actually, there's this in social media. What do you do for a living? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you don't ask, we don't know.
Exactly.
You know, and here you are, you're saying it's been over 10 years, a little over 10 years.
Yeah.
You have a master's. We always say, oh, yeah, my dad said this is what I'm going to do. And next thing you know, it's like total confusion.
So for listeners
Crazy.
that don't know what escrow is and might be new to real estate, break down what exactly is, escrow. Because I feel like everybody listens to lender, real estate agent. And then once they get to escrow, they're like, who's escrow? What's escrow? And what do they do?
Yeah. So escrow is a neutral third party in a real estate transaction. We facilitate the transaction between the buyer and the seller. So we're truly there to work through the contract. So everything that is, listed on the contract is what escrow kind of has to abide by. The contract is our Bible. So we're there to, to make sure that, the seller, the person selling the home really is the seller. We're making sure that the buyer is qualified, based on, we work with the lender, we work with title, we work with both agents, we work with everyone in the transaction. We're literally the hub of the whole transaction, which a lot of people don't realize. But escrow can really make or break a deal for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, most of the time nowadays when you're presenting an offer, usually the seller and the listing agent ask that you use their title and escrow. Yeah. And here's the misconception of people, but do you actually work, just for the seller, or are you working for both parties, or what is that?
You work for both. You're a neutral third party, which is why it's important that you align yourself with a company that's truly neutral. Because you want, as a buyer, you want to make sure you're given the same information, the same access as the seller would, and it's not like one side is getting more than the
attention,
other,
right?
More attention. The way we work, we want to give the listing agent the same attention as we give the buyer's agent. They are both supposed to be getting the same exact attention and service that they're going to be getting, because it's literally what the definition. It's a neutral third party, and that's what we're supposed to be. And sometimes you don't see that.
I like to tell my clients, like, hey, they're the police, to make sure that our side's doing the job, they're doing the job, and everyone's following the law.
Yeah.
And the law is the contract, right?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, and you talked about earlier about commission, right? So if a transaction doesn't close, I mean, you get paid, right?
Nope. None of us get paid.
Nobody gets paid.
So escrow officer has been working on the liens on your house. They've been, working with the county to try to release all this. And so it's been 30 days and, hasn't closed. And for some reason it cancels. No one gets paid.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, this is a great question. I've never asked an escrow, person. I know you're a representative, but you're kind of along there. So, are you a big fan when they say, hey, 10-day close of escrow, 15-day close of escrow? Or do you prefer like a little lengthier time?
Well, I'm the sales rep, so I absolutely love 10-day closes.
Yeah.
No, our escrow officers, they love it because they can handle it.
Okay, good.
As long as the buyer side.
Shout out to Liliana.
Yes, shout out to Liliana. She's amazing. As long as the buy side and the listing side are also, giving us everything that we need and responding in time. The problem is sometimes when there's 10-day escrows and you don't hear from anyone until day 8, and then it gets back to escrow, you're not doing your job. And we're like, well, we don't have anything that we've sent out. We don't have that back yet. So it's hard to, close a 10-day escrow in 2 days,
Yeah.
It's a team effort. Everybody needs to come together.
Absolutely. So if everyone is, if you're writing in a 10-day, like everyone needs to make sure, is there an HOA? Because that's also a problem.
Oh.
If there's an HOA.
I'm getting through one right now.
Yeah. So,
But on that same train of thought, in our industry, relationships and trust is huge. So what would you say is like your superpower when it comes to building relations, that differentiates yourself from others?
I think for me, when I go into any kind of relationship that I'm trying to build with, whether it's an agent, a lender, just my big thing is always like leading with wanting to help. I'm here to want to help you, and I genuinely want people to win.
Yeah.
I want others to be able to grow and win in this business. So because I go into it with that mindset, like I'm there to help you grow, which has ultimately helped me as well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, if you go into relationships that way, like as kind of just, I'm here to help you, and however I can facilitate that. And I now 10.5 years later, I could do that with a lot of the relationships that I built. I see myself a lot as a connector in this business. And my big thing is if I can place you with, X agent, because I think that you're going to bring them really great value, and the agent also can provide some value to you, like that fills me.
I love that you said you're a connector, because I similarly look at myself like that, because I get joy in being able to have someone tell me like, hey, I couldn't have done it if you didn't help me like this, or if you didn't tell me that I could do this and that. Like, I really like that, and I feel that that's what fuels me as well when it comes to being able to help the client, or just anybody for that matter, even if it doesn't really benefit me or I don't get anything from it. As long as I'm able to pay that forward for that person, I feel down the line it comes tenfold for you.
100%.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, Tania,
100%.
you're always out there like trying to figure out how you're connecting people, or when we're doing these networkings for the ADUs, like you're there. You allow people to use your facility.
Yeah.
And it's like you're always storing with drinks and food and everything. You're awesome. I'm like, go over there like, damn, Tania, this is the place you work at? Or like, I wouldn't leave this place,
And on the same note, you're always looking to, like you said, learn more. And I see that you get into a lot of the marketing things. Tell me a little bit of, what interests you about that side, and, what prompted you to want to go into that route?
As far as marketing for
like, the AI, I see you work with a lot of agents teaching them the AI, different marketing techniques. And I actually hear a lot of agents say like, hey, I just met with Tania, that she helped me out do this and that. So that's also something that I don't really hear from other escrow reps, where it's just like, hey, I could do this for you. And that's one of the things that I come to find out, that the way that you differentiate yourself is by caring truly and being yourself.
Yeah.
So
I think that, like I said, I think I come from a background of education, right? My mom's a teacher. My grandma was a teacher. I'm big on education as far as always continuing to learn. I love to read. And if there's something new, I want to be ahead of it. So I align myself with people like Billie Jean, or like just whoever's the, master in that space. So that way I can learn from it. And the more I know, the more I can help my agents.
That's awesome.
If I could save them money by me absorbing the knowledge and helping them and giving them a little bit of what I've learned, and saving them the time for when not having to sit down for 16 weeks to do a course. Like I did it. I can help you and give you some of the pointers that I think would help your business in that way. I love it. Like I love always continuing to learn what's new. So I really enjoy it. To me, it's not work, which is crazy.
That's pretty cool. And the fact that you, Billie Jean, I mean, you pay for these courses. Like you pay for this knowledge, and then you just give it out for free.
Yeah.
It's who you are. It's what you do.
Yeah. Honestly, I love it.
Yeah.
And it's just me trying to bring value in one way. And again, I'm not going around and just saying like tit for tat. It's really it's really more about like, I really just want everyone to win.
Yeah.
So what would you say one very good piece of advice you've gotten over the years that has helped you propel in your career?
One piece of advice. Honestly, it wasn't direct advice, but I was big on Tony Robbins. I went to a couple of his UPWs. So his thing is like, go to the master and learn from them. Don't recreate the wheel, right?
There
like
you
if
go.
someone's already built it and it already is doing great, doing a specific thing, learn from them and don't reinvent it. And that's kind of where a lot of what I do, like it resonates with that.
No, I connect with that, because I was at a meeting this year, and one of the things that they messaged was like, hey, if you don't have it all together, attach yourself to an engine, and that engine's going to go. But if you're a part of it, you're going to be getting, taken along the ride with them. Yeah. So I think that's, something that I did in my early career. Thankfully, Will opened up the doors for me, and I tied myself to that engine.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so
great place here.
sometimes we want to reinvent it. We just think there's a simpler way, right? And we totally find out that when we hit that wall, we get lost. It's like, what happened?
Yeah.
Why did I even try to do that? Let me just go back to a basic. Exactly. And that's what it is.
100%.
Especially nowadays, 2023 was not the easiest year for many people.
I think it was very eye-opener in the sense that it really taught, at least for me, it taught me a lot about myself, which I thought I already knew a lot, but it really taught me that, like, hey, like, now you have to work even harder. I was already giving my all, like, these last couple of years, and then this year comes around, like, literally just throws me off my game, and I'm like, oh, crap. But it's how you get up from those falls that
Yeah.
really determines the trajectory that you continue to do.
Yeah.
And for me, I felt like, I got slapped in the face, but I'm like, oh shit, well, time to get up. School of Hard Knocks, let's get back in there.
Yeah.
Reinvest in yourself, educate yourself more, become more valuable, and there's always a way out. And I feel like last year was, that wake up call for a lot of people. And if
Yeah.
you took it, I feel this year's going to be a lot different.
For
just
sure.
mentally, physically, spiritually. Like, I just feel a different vibe.
I feel the same way, and I think one of the things that works for me is I don't get caught up in like media. I don't get caught up in the negativity that's out there. There's real estate agents. There's a lot of people who are out there talking that negatively in the space, and just kind of it can bring you down. And I think that's what collectively brought a lot of people down last year. And I did not allow myself in that space.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's business out there. There might be less business, but then that means I just need more of it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I need to go do more networking events. I need to go and talk to more people.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a contact sport, right?
100%. And I would tell, like, we have a team, and like in hard times, like our team gets tighter and tighter. We get closer. We mastermind more together, and we try to bring ideas to the table and things that are outside the box, because in a tough market, you have to come with something new. And change it up, and that's what we did. We had to go out there and kind of figure out what we could do that was different, and what would set us apart. And we took a higher market share last year.
And I think that's great advice for anybody hearing this. I think there are opportunities as things are changing. Instead of digressing, progress forward and push forward, put the pedal to the metal, because I feel like there is a lot of market share. And last year, unfortunately, some people did get knocked out, but that's okay, because I feel like it's progressing, things are getting better, and I feel as long as you're positive, you surround yourself with positive people, ultimately you're going to make it out.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So what would you say as far as, the beginning of the year so far, what's your outlook for this coming year as far as the real estate industry, and just in general?
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Again, because you feel it, right? You feel how everyone's like mindset has shifted a little bit, and that comes with every new year.
Yeah.
Honestly, every new year is a little different, but the same in that way, right?
Absolutely.
But I have been seeing, because I have a lot of meetings with people that are like, I'm gung-ho, I'm doing this right this year, this is my year, right? But you can but you can tell, like, after you've been doing it for a while and you're having these conversations year after year, like, who's actually going to put in the work. And I'm seeing a lot more people actually putting in the work this year, and what I'm like saying or what I'm suggesting they're actually doing. So that gives me just the idea that maybe this year it's going to be better for a lot, because if we all got through last year, we're going to be able to get through this year. And, rates are going down a little bit, little by little, so that's helping. But I do think that it made people's skin a little thicker last year, and a little tougher. So I think now this year's going to be great.
Yeah.
I have a good feeling.
And I love that you say that, and I know that you're reading this because you've been seeing the differences of what's been going on. So I know I myself was lost, being a top producer, and then kind of like, what the hell happened here?
Yeah.
And I was kind of asking all my other buddies, like, what's happening to you? It was the common story.
Yeah.
And then I just saw an article pop up last week that over 49% of realtors did not even produce one transaction. It was crazy article. You could just Google in there, and it's like, it's pretty crazy. But I mean, luckily that wasn't ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were that other 51% that did produce something.
Yeah.
So.
And it's funny because I feel like last year people were like, how are you guys doing? And kind of expecting you to be like, oh, this year sucks, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you don't allow yourself to go there.
Amen.
No.
You can't. You're like, no, this year's great. Like we're getting through it.
Yes.
And I mean, I couldn't complain. I had a great year last year, but I worked 3 times as hard.
Yeah. And got half the business. But no, in all fairness, you're 100% right. And I feel like last year, if you didn't sharpen your skills, you're going to feel that this year. I feel last year was like sharpening your skills, really double down on your systems, and find the holes where, you need to patch them up. And I think that the people that did take your advice, that did, do the right things for their business, this year's a completely different outlook.
Yeah.
Just starting the year, I get people calling me, last year, I feel like there was so much uncertainty going into 2022 because because of the following year rates started to go up, everybody's like, what's going to happen in 2023? And it sure showed in the market.
Yeah.
Nobody was selling. Everybody was like waiting for it to crash. Still doesn't crash for all those crashers. Still not going to crash.
Yeah, not crashing.
And ultimately now we're starting to see things, be better. So
Yeah.
I feel like a lot more inventory is going to come out and more people finding themselves that need solutions for their problems.
What's crazy, Tania, you mentioned Billie Jean.
Yeah.
You're already 16-week course.
Yeah.
Done. So you're ready.
I'm ready. And it's always all that AI, it's always changing. So it's good to be continuing to sharpen those skills as well, because tomorrow, the way AI works, it's like it changes rapidly. So I'm constantly looking to learn what's new and what's different. And like I said, I'll text Billy like, hey, what are the top three apps for real estate agents that you would use right now?
Yeah.
And he'll tell me kind of what the best thing is. So like it's good to have good connections like that.
Good.
So it's really I'm huge on, your network, and
that's awesome. Yeah. And how receptive are your realtor partners taking a lot of that stuff? Do you see someone like, hey, embracing it? Like, bring me the AI right now? Because, a lot of times I'm a little on the younger side, right? Sarcastically speaking, but I'm like, dang, here's another thing that I'm going to have to learn and stuff like that. How are most people taking that?
It really depends. Like some people are all about it.
Yeah.
Some people are kind of starting to accept it, but it is scary. Yeah. What's happening with AI is scary, with people being able to, computers being able to duplicate your voice, your face. It's hard. It's hard. And with that, we also as a company need to, restructure our security and how we're handling certain things, because with so much fraud going on because of AI, you have to be receptive, but you also have to, be aware and take the precaution.
So speaking on that subject, you mentioned fraud.
Yeah.
A lot of people get messages. They're called phishing phishing. They're phishing. I always get messages on my email. So tell us a little bit about that and what measures you guys take to basically get your clients not to fall through that, and what precautionary measures are in place.
Well, first and foremost, what we tell everyone plenty of times throughout the escrow is don't take wiring instructions over email. And most of the time, not most of the time, every time that any kind of fraud has been attempted, it's been through email that has been hacked on the buyer side or the agent. The buyers and the agents still have the Gmails, so that the hackers, they're very sophisticated nowadays. They're following along on Instagram, they're following along on Facebook, they're seeing what, when people say, I'm buying a house, or so then they figure out who their email is, they log in, they start seeing interactions between the agent, the lender, the escrow officer, and then they'll come in and just hack into the email and pretend to be the escrow officer. We always tell any email that you get, make sure you check, the from the sender, make sure it matches the email letter by letter, dot by dot, because we have seen someone try to do, we're a new Venture Escrow, right? So the NEVV, it's NEVV instead of NEW.
Got it.
Or things like that. Yeah. So more than anything, it's agents needing to address this with their clients and letting them know what the process looks like. You will not be getting different wiring instructions in the middle of the transaction. The wiring instructions where you send your EMD are the exact same wiring instructions that you're going to send at the close escrow for closing. It's the same. You're never going to have anyone change those on you. If someone does, call escrow and call your agent right away.
Tania, that's crazy. So you mean, I'm hacking. I'm saying, I'm excited. I'm in escrow. That's probably not the thing I want to do on my social media page then, huh?
No.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Right?
That's true.
Because how excited do we get?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it like that, because you could get your email and, bots all over the place. Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's crazy.
Wow, Tania. Have you guys ever experienced a client that sent the wire and, an email came and the client sent a wire out and now it's gone?
There had been a time where it did, but we were able to get it with time. Nice. But again, there's other companies or other situations where the money's gone. And the buyers need to be very aware of the process. I think a buyer send a wire out before they even sign loan docs. So it was addressing that with your clients. Like that's not how the process goes, right? So letting them know, like, first and foremost, you're going to sign loan docs, and then you're going to get the wiring instructions. Most likely we'll get them in person, and then you can verify them again at the bank over the phone.
Yeah.
And, make sure you have the same phone number for your escrow officer that you've been reaching out to, or, not necessarily from their signature line.
Yeah.
But you can even Google the company, right? And call that direct line to make sure that you're calling
That's true,
that
right?
company.
Hey, because hackers change any email, the phone number, they can change anything.
And
And
you got
now-
a call center to India.
And now
You're
with AI, like, they can duplicate the voice,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe you just sound like someone from here.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
So
true.
it won't have, but it's more than anything to me. What we do is we're huge on technology at New
Good.
Venture, but that doesn't take away from the customer service.
Yeah.
And this is a part of the transaction where we know we have to be there, present, and very hands-on to avoid it. And yes, we're into technology, but not here.
Yeah.
At this point is where we answer the phone to confirm the wiring instructions. If you need to do it a couple of times, it's do it
Yeah.
for your securities. This is sometimes people's life savings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
it's important that if they need to call 5 times, call 5 times.
Be reassured. Yeah.
Be reassured. It's understandable for people to be hesitant during that.
Of course.
That point.
That's crazy. So, if I'm just say I'm a hypothetical buyer, I send the wire, I lose because it got intercepted somewhere, by a hacker. I send it to who knows where, and here's my $100,000. I as a buyer, because I send it, I think I'm gonna go in escrow. It was your fault, right?
Oh, everyone assumes it's escrow's fault.
Or there's some type of insurance that I can get my money back because,
No, it becomes an FBI situation, and the FBI does not like to handle it.
right?
I'm
No.
sure they got plenty of.
Actually, take that part out. 'Cause
Yeah. Yeah, but that would
part.
hey, but that would be somebody else that would handle that, right? I mean, that's not escrow's fault.
It's
that would
not.
be my fault for not verifying the information.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks. Like I've seen cases where they do like a fraud, or you send money out to some person and they literally like fraud you. So they go and tell the police, and the police like, hey, well, you sent it. It's your money.
But it's true.
There's
Yeah.
there's no actual law for you sending somebody
Yeah.
money
Well,
legally. You
Oh yeah, you could do that in Zelle or
PayPal,
PayPal, whatever.
Bitcoin.
Usually overseas, so the money ends
Yeah,
up going
yeah.
overseas. But pay attention to the wiring instructions.
That's
Make
awesome.
sure the wiring instructions are the same as the ones that you sent for the EMD.
Yeah.
They're always going to be the same.
Thank
So-
you for sharing that,
Yeah,
because that's one of the things. It's that I always talk to my clients. I tell them whatever instructions you got in the beginning when you send your EMD,
Yeah.
the account and the routing number is not going to change.
Yeah.
Just send it to that, but always make sure that you call and you talk to that person and you ask them, hey, what's my account number? And you
Yeah.
verify it like that.
Yeah.
The
So-
good thing is we deal with a lot of VA, so they don't come with no more down payment, but I
Yeah.
could just imagine the ones
closing costs.
20, 30,
Jumbo
My
loans.
goodness.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So speaking about transactions, I'm curious to know, can you recall a transaction where, everything went great and you just had that feeling of like, God, this is what I'm meant to do. I love doing this.
God, I mean, there's been a lot. I think,
Nice.
I think that I was in foreclosures before, right? So my job, I wasn't working for a foreclosure attorney, but I had to file insurance claims on properties that were damaged and then that were in foreclosure.
Yeah.
But I sometimes would get confused by the borrower as being the foreclosure attorney.
Okay.
So I was part of the sad side of real estate, right?
yeah.
Like the not so great side of real estate. Coming into escrow, I'm part of a super happy experience. Like someone buying their first home, someone selling and selling their first home and then buying their first investment property.
Yeah.
Like these are huge moves, and I think they're all special. We don't see a deal as a transaction that's just another number. Like we truly believe, we talk to the escrow officers, like us being prompt and getting things done on time, there's someone most likely all packed up, ready to
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
Like if we decided we didn't want to send an email because we were too busy or something, like that can impact something huge. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have one specific time or one specific transaction, because I do feel like they're
They're
all
all-
special,
Yeah.
But I do love it when I see there's, the first time home buyer that buys with us and then they sell their home when they have 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 in equity, and then they can buy their dream home
Yeah.
after that. Like, that is so great. And then we kind of help them through that. Like, we aren't the agent that is literally at the home. We're not, we're not the lender working the numbers, but we're still a part of this. And
100%.
it's such a great feeling to be a part of such huge milestones for me.
Yeah.
I am a huge believer in buying and selling real estate. I do think that that's, the best investment anyone can make. So I love it. I love when we're a part of being able to be a part of it.
And you guys play a huge role. Without you, we're like handicapped. You know what I mean? You guys do a lot for us and with us, and you guys are in the trenches with us, you know? And sometimes I'm like, how the hell do they do certain things? But you guys pull it off.
And that's one of the things that I love about this industry, that you're really able to give it your own flavor, your own twist, build your own experience for your clients. And I think that's one of the things that I come to appreciate about this that I could truly be myself, connect with somebody genuinely. And it's not because, I'm some sort of person. Like, no, like there's sometimes I have clients that become really good friends and I'm like, dude, I'm so glad we met. Like, after this, we're going to go hang out at your house. But I think that's the most important thing about this business. And it's for me, it's people. So how important is community and surrounding yourself, with the right team, with the right people? Because earlier you mentioned that, being around negativity, whether you like it or not, it starts to seep in.
For sure. Team is huge. We are huge on culture at New Venture. We're all a big family. When I started, God, I can't tell you how many employees we were, but we had 2 offices. It was 10 and a half years ago. So we were probably about a fourth of what we are now as far as people. And we've grown, but we've always been very, very careful to grow smart, not super fast, and bring in the right people because, again, bringing the wrong person in can really mess with culture. We all are like family. We hang out outside of work, and that's huge. We do events together at the office, whether it's like we're doing a potluck on Monday just for fun, at the Chula Vista office. And we like to do, Casey sponsors our once a month breakfast on a Friday, and we all hang out and do, we call it chat and chew, and we just talk about
chat and chew. I like that.
We talk about just like personal, and life, but shoot the shit. And it's like, let's not talk work. Let's just, what's going on with everyone's life. And it's so important that we're spending so much time with these people at work, right? That you have people that you value and you care about and you enjoy being around. And I feel the same way about the people I partner with, my agents. And I want to help you. So I just make sure that I align myself with the people that match my values. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, because again, like I want to enjoy my everyday. I don't want to cringe when my phone rings.
Saying that cringe, it's funny because I was listening to a podcast and the guy saying like, hey, if someone from the industry that you're supposed to be doing business with is calling you and you're cringing when they're calling you, you probably shouldn't be doing business with them.
No.
And that's one of the things that I'm very cautious about. Like if I feel it and I know I can connect with them, I want to do business with you. But the same way that I don't feel it, I can't connect with you, even on minuscule things like, just like, little small talk. I already know that it's probably not going to work out in business.
And
if there's not a flow. Yes, it's okay not to get along with everybody. So here comes the big question that I feel all of us get. How do you balance your work-life life? and it always trips everybody. It's like, what's balance?
Well, the truth is this.
My life.
Like, balance means something different to people, right?
Exactly.
I am so grateful. My now husband, he understands my job completely and knows that sometimes I have 3 nights a week that I have an event, and so I won't be home till late.
Yeah.
But I've been very, very mindful about that, and I do try to say like, hey, if I have these 3 events, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll pick one day where we can do a date night. Like, so I'll make sure to still do a date night because it's important.
Yeah, so
it's important to still connect with your family, your significant other, and to also like just take a step back from the day, right?
Yeah.
Like, with us, like our phone is always ringing, and you can literally just be on that all day. And you can ask him anytime. Like it's always very, very close to me. But
I relate. Trust me, I get your earful all the time.
Yeah, and I sometimes hear it, right? But he understands, which helps a lot. Yeah. Balance, though, like because I do net sheets after hours, and I do respond after hours. I've been trying to just be a little bit more cautious of like my time and kind of maybe setting a little bit more limits, like maybe after 8 I'm not responding, or I'll just say, hey, I'll get back to you tomorrow morning. But it's in my nature to want to respond right away. That's my problem.
If I see the message and I don't care if it's 11 p.m., like I'm like, oh, I could reply right now.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, but they're freaking sorry. Like I should probably. So I'll write it and just leave it there for the morning.
Yeah.
But my instant react is like to send
Well,
it.
here's the thing. People are coming from work.
Yeah.
At work, they're not really thinking. They're thinking, I'm doing my job, what I'm supposed to do, especially if they're buying their home, they're doing certain things, you know.
Yeah.
They're at work making sure that when we close escrow, they still have a job, etc. Right?
Yeah.
So their questions come probably when they get on their car to commute home.
Yeah.
They're driving, they're thinking. It's like some people get out like at 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
And, you know, before when I was in the industry getting in, they're like, no, you should put on your voicemail that you're not, you know, available after 5. I tried it, but you know what? Personally, I get nothing out of that. I rather answer that question when they have it because most people forget about it. We don't write it down, and it's like, I forgot about that.
Yes. And for me, a lot of it's coming from a real estate agent, right? Like, so they might be going on a listing presentation at 8 p.m. and they need a net sheet at 6, like, or at 7 right before. It might be a last minute thing. Like, I'm happy to help with that. Again, if I can help you get that listing, like 100% I want to help.
Yeah.
So I'm not strict with that at all. I'm just working.
And there was no right or wrong answer. It's just like,
Yeah.
how do you do it?
Yeah,
Let me take some tips, see if I can.
Honestly, there's not a lot of balance in my life. I mean, that's balance, honestly.
Like you said, balance is different for everybody, and if that is your balance, then it might work out for you. Like mine's different, Will's is different, but I think you know, having some sort of balance, whether it be not balanced but balanced.
Yeah, I mean, I take Saturday mornings to like do my workouts and like kind of do me time, but then I also like sometimes do open houses on Saturdays and Sundays. So like,
what?
But I
They're
don't.
working.
But I don't see it as work sometimes because I'm like, I enjoy seeing homes. So if I can go in and like check out the house and meet a new agent and say hi, and if no one's walked in and we can have a good conversation, like, why not?
And that's one of the things that I've learned, you know, being in business is that, you know, everywhere you go, you're technically working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anywhere you go, you can make a connection. You can create a relationship. You could get a lead. So for me, I go like, babe, where can we go that is a lot of people that I can talk to as much people as possible? Because I'll just go and literally like just start conversations. You never know. You never know. And that's one of the reasons I really appreciate and love this industry because I love talking to people.
Yeah. You know.
No, right? That's a commonality around here, you know?
So, you know, I love that. But okay, pivoting outside of, you know, the business, tell us a little bit about your interests, you know, your hobbies, and what you like to do outside of work whenever you're not working, because we know you work all the time.
Yeah, you do.
But,
You're
you
a
know,
hustler.
I know you love the Dodgers.
We had to change my cup because they were trying to give me a Padres cup.
And you know, I was like, I saw that cup. I'm like, we're gonna give her this one.
Like, nope,
She's like, I can't drink out of that. But what do you like to do? You know, on your off time?
I love going to concerts. I love going to Dodger games. When Dodgers are at home here in San Diego.
Especially.
Ouch.
Especially.
Shots
Or
fired.
even LA. I love to travel.
Nice.
Absolutely love to travel. I big on like my girl time too. Like I have a couple groups of friends where like we'll do like just walks with our dogs, or we recently just did a ceramics class because we said this year we're going to start taking up hobbies because we all said we need a hobby, right?
Yeah.
Like, because we're all of us are always working.
Yeah.
So let's start trying to do something different. Or we would always just go to a restaurant because we're big foodies. That's another thing. Like I love trying new restaurants.
Yeah.
But we're like, okay, we can't always be eating. You know, like
That's not a good hobby.
we need to change it up. So we're like, okay, let's try to find something else. So I haven't done this yet, but I do want to try and get some little classes on like playing pickleball.
Oh,
Big
that's
right now,
pretty,
right?
I've
Here's
seen a lot
big
of
right
people.
now. So I do want to try.
It's intense.
I played tennis when I was younger, but it's been a long time, so I can't say I'm going to be any good at it. But yeah, just getting more active. I like to kind of try different things. Like I like Pilates, but I also like spin and I like weightlifting. So I just try different things, different studios with my girlfriends.
Nice.
Yeah, I can see that you're a little bit all over the place.
Yeah,
So
kinda
you just
everywhere.
go with, okay, that's a new thing. Let me just try that out, you know?
right.
So
That
that's
art.
good.
No, and it's cool because recently my girl just started a mom's group, and it prompted me to say like, hey, well, that's kind of cool. You get together with the girls. I'm like, maybe I should start a dad crew and just have dads like literally shoot the shit. Hey, I'm going through this. Hey, how do I get my girl to stop doing this?
How do I behave better?
Hey, what do you guys do with this when it happens? No, but
It's always what am I doing for her to behave that
There
way?
you go. There you go.
Write that down.
Yeah. No, and I think it's so important, Tania, that you're not just set in your way, right?
Yeah.
Like you try different things because then you're just going to be able to, meet other people that have, similar likings. And that's when you really start like, connecting, like, whoa, this is actually, you do Pilates. Oh, you do Orange Theory. Like you're just adjusting.
But
Pretty
all
awesome.
that, I feel like it just, gives you more opportunities to be able to connect with more people. You
Yeah.
have more to talk about. There's so much that you can like spark fun facts. I imagine that, it just continues to keep the conversations going wherever you go.
Yeah, 100%.
So before we, we log off, is there anything that you want to, talk about that we didn't touch or anything that, you might want to bring to the light?
God, it's such an open-ended question. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think that you guys have touched on like most of kind of my value adds. I really pride myself in bringing value to my agents. I am coached myself, so I really believe in always continuing to grow and learn, and it's something I think that everyone should be doing all the time, to continue to evolve. And I'm always just here trying to be a resource to everyone.
So one last question. If you could give one piece of advice to homeowners, aspiring homeowners, realtors, or anybody in the industry that's watching this about real estate this year, what would you say?
I would say even if you don't think you can buy, you should talk to a lender first and see where you stand. I wish I would have bought years before my first purchase. And my first purchase, I didn't even know I could. I was like, no way, it's never going to go through. Absolutely not.
Common issue.
Yeah, right? And so I'm like, wait, we're good? We're clear to close? Are you sure? Like, I literally was expecting something, right?
Every single time, you sure?
Literally, I was waiting for my phone to ring. But no, it literally just talk to a lender and see where you stand. Yeah. And that way you can know what you need to work on.
That's
a
big.
lot of times people think like, no, I can't right now. I don't have good credit or I have so much to pay. Well, we'll figure it out with the lender, with the professional that can help walk you through that process to get you set up to be able to buy. I wish, again, I would have bought years before I did. I wish I would have a lot more units than I do by now. But, it's all a learning curve, and we're getting there. We're going to get there. But, yeah, I would say just talk to your lender.
Yeah, and it's only getting easier, right?
Depending who you speak to.
Right? It's only getting easier. Like, no, the time is now.
The time is yesterday.
Yeah. It's just like, when do we plan our vacation, or when are we going to plan the first baby? Like, sometimes the best thing is just not having to plan it, just getting it done. Just go.
Yeah.
That's how we did my kids.
Well, yeah. Tania, I cannot but appreciate that you came over here. You took time out of your busy day, because I know you're busy. When I do it, when there's events at 6, 7 o'clock, and they're held at your escrow office at times, it's like you're there.
Yeah.
And you're still full of energy. I'm kind of like, maybe I want to have that coffee and kind of draining down, but no, I think we all have that energy. I think it's just us.
I get my energy from people too, because I also have, that moment where I'm like, God, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, especially I've talked to a lot of people, but then I start a conversation and I feel like I can bring some kind of value to someone, and
got the goosebumps.
Yeah, and it kind of it drives me, like if I can be a resource, be a value, and help someone, like I said, like that fuels me, and that will help me go to that last event.
So that's awesome, and you're like true. Like I don't even have to question that about you. Like you're there, you're always there, you're always readily available. Always. If you don't know it, you'll get the answer.
Yes.
You'll figure it out. You're just a solution to solution. So
that's what I try to be. Yeah.
So Tania, where can people connect with you on social, or how can they reach out to you if they have any questions about escrow or just in general wanting to connect with you?
Any questions, escrow or real estate in general, you can reach me. I'm on Instagram a lot. Tania NVE is my handle. My cell phone number is 619-807-0711. Or you can reach me via email, Tania@newventureescrow.com.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, realtors, if you guys need them, we use her because all our refis, they have to go so seamlessly. Everything's just like,
thank you.
I love it.
No, definitely. And for realtors and everybody watching this, definitely connect with Tania, with their team. They're phenomenal. And not just saying that because we work with them, just overall great people. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
This was fun.
I truly enjoyed it. We're definitely going to run it back mid-year, see where we're at. See where we're at.
Let's see where the year's taking us. And
definitely.
Hope that the people that said they were going to do better
we're going to hold them accountable.
Are doing better
exactly.
this year,
So for everybody listening at home, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for tuning in and continue to tune in, giving us support. So keep a lookout for this episode dropping. Tania Marks, New Venture Escrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Yeah. No, thank you.